Lowballed.
Welcome to 2 Cents Boxing, where we talk everything boxing. Make sure to punch that like and subscribe button. Seriously, hit it like it owes you money. Want to go the extra mile? Drop a super chat or donate to the Cash App, because who doesn't love supporting quality content? Catch me live every Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Sunday at 5 p.m. See you there.
Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's video, we will be discussing Shakur Soft Touch Stevenson and his claims of getting lowball by Turkey Big Pockets Ala Sheik. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go throughout the video. Now, first of all, let me say thank you to everybody that is newly subscribed or has been subscribed to my channel. I want to thank you for the support. Be sure to punch that like and subscribe button. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. We're almost to 2 right now. That's the next stop. But be sure to support the channel by punching that like and subscribe button. I see the analytics. I see people watching. Y'all just not hitting the subscribe button. Make sure to help support the channel by hitting the Cash App or dropping a super thanks below. Just let me know I'm doing a good job and you appreciate the content. But recently, Shakur Soft Touch Stevenson came out and put out a tweet responding to Oscar De La Hoya. Now, I'm sure a lot of you all are familiar with the story. Shakur Stevenson and Oscar De La Hoya have been Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Zepeda have been going back and forth trying to make a fight for a couple of years now. Shakur Stevenson said Zepeda continuously tries to duck him. Zepeda and his trainer say they've literally tried to make fights with Shakur, but they weren't exactly when he wanted them, so he turned them down and they were not able to make the fights. So however you want to look at it, either they keep ducking each other or they keep missing each other, right? However you want to look at it. Now, after all of that, now it is the right time for the fight to be made, allegedly, right? So I had a tweet. Let me see if I still got that tweet. Here we go. So just recently, this is the tweet that I had came across, where Eddie Hearn says that Shakur Stevenson is willing to sit on the shelf until the fall to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, even if William Zepeda wins the Tevin Former rematch. Now, this is the last thing I heard about Shakur Stevenson fighting Zepeda, that even if Zepeda won, he wasn't going to be willing to fight him because he was interested in only fighting Tank. Now, I called cap on that. I pointed it out, how that didn't really make much sense for that to happen. I can't remember if I did a video about that or if it's in a live stream. It all kind of eventually starts to run together. But I'll definitely try to keep better track of that so I can refer you back to the video where I already spoke about that. Now, Shakur Stevenson comes out after Oscar De La Hoya decides to go to social media and call out Shakur Stevenson. So Oscar De La Hoya says, after all that shit talking, Shakur Stevenson pulls out of the Zepeda fight. Right? Shakur Stevenson decides to respond. Is that what they told you? Turkey promised me a number, and now he going way back on that number that he promised me and sending his towel boys to run me the info instead of telling me straight up what he trying to do. I don't bow down to nobody. Mr. De La Hoya, now let's negotiate. So, Shakur Stevenson ended up in this situation, and I have so many points I want to make about the situation, but I don't want to make the video long. So I don't know if I'm going to have to split the video up or maybe just go more in depth on my live stream. But how did Shakur Stevenson end up in this situation? Well, first of all, we told Shakur Stevenson, I'm not going to say we told Shakur Stevenson, but we questioned Shakur Stevenson. Why did you leave Top Rank to go to Matchroom? They don't have any 35-pound fighters for you. So much so that when you got there, the first fight you were going to fight was somebody moving up from 135 from 130 because they didn't have a 35-pounder for you to fight. That fight fell through. Then we come to the Kid Austin fight, who is cross promotional because he signed with Oscar De La Hoya, and Oscar De La Hoya wasn't really interested in making that fight. That fight falls through, and you end up falling back on Padley, a late replacement fight that you fought over in Saudi Arabia. And a lot of people felt like they didn't really feel anything about the fight. I mean, you look decent in the fight, you got a stoppage, it was cool, but it didn't really do much for you or your career, in my opinion. You was fighting in Saudi Arabia in the middle of the day. Honestly, nobody was really even paying attention to that fight, of course, except for the die-hard boxing fans. Those are the people that seen that fight. So now we're coming out and people are saying, well, Turki Al-Sheikh doesn't want to pay Shakur Stevenson the money because he's seen the Tevin Farmer and William Zepeda fight, and he just knows for sure that Shakur Stevenson is so good that he's gonna outclass William Zepeda, and there's no point in paying all that money for the fight. And this is where my questions start to come in at, right? Because Shakur Stevenson said they know how bad I want this fight that they're willing to take advantage of me and give me a low ball offer. So this is where my questions come in at. Why is what you're being paid, why is what Shakur Stevenson willing to be paid by Turkey based off of William Zepeda's performance? I mean, based off William Tevin Farmer's performance against William Zepeda. People acting like William Zepeda just blew Tevin Farmer out the water. Those are two controversial wins. There are a lot of people that think Tevin Farmer won both of those fights. So to say that Turki Al-Sheikh no longer wants to pay Shakur Stevenson what he promised because of the way Zepeda looked in the Tevin Farmer fights, I don't understand how the two are correlated. And we all know that styles make fights. So could Shakur Stevenson's stock simply just have dropped? That's my question, right? Recently, we had the whole debacle about Shakur Stevenson doing 360 pay-per-view buys on the greatest card of the century, the last Crescendo, that was downgraded from a 25,000 stadium to a 6,000 seat arena and only sold 3,000 seats. Not only did the card flop at the gate, it also flopped globally with the numbers of only having 360,000 pay-per-view buys globally at about $25 a pop, which is maybe about $7 to $8 million for the pay-per-view. Now, not only was it a flop, you got Shakur Stevenson taking credit for the flop, right? You got Shakur Stevenson coming out. It was a whole big deal. Everybody was going back and forth on the internet saying how he did 360,000 and it was more than Gervonta Tank Davis pay-per-view numbers and whatever they was trying to spin that with, right? And the next day or a day or two later, you got Shakur Stevenson coming out saying that Turkey lowballing him. And so when I asked the question, why is Shakur Stevenson reposting this 360,000 pay-per-view buy as if it's a good thing on his Twitter, do the numbers, be humble, when all you saying is, look at the card I was on, it was a flop. You wasn't even the main event, Shakur Stevenson. You wasn't even the main event on that card and you took credit for the flop. Is it a coincidence that you getting lowballed now? I'm just asking. And what happened to Shakur Stevenson, 2-division champion, and unified, and all of these belts and all of these accolades y'all keep trying to throw up in people's face every time we try to have a decent conversation about boxing and business and how it actually works? How come Shakur Stevenson ain't say nothing in that tweet about his accolades with Turkey trying to lowball him? I'm just asking. How come Shakur Stevenson didn't check Turkey and let him know I'm a unified multi-division champion? Why you trying to lowball me? Right? And now you think back to all those people crying about how Tank should go over to Turkey to make the fight because he got the bag and he got the money. He don't even want to pay Shakur Stevenson the money that he promised them or that they've already negotiated. And people want to blame William Zepeda because of his performance. Why does that matter, y'all? Turkey got the bag. His country print the money. He wants to put on the fights people want to see. People been want to see William Zepeda and Shakur fight. Turkey got unlimited money. How the hell is Shakur Stevenson getting lowball from somebody with unlimited money, y'all? Just like, how the hell is Shakur Stevenson getting booed where they don't even applaud at? They don't even applaud at the fights. How is he getting booed? Like, why does this stuff keep happening to Shakur Stevenson? Why is Shakur Stevenson the first fighter we've ever heard being lowballed by Turkey? When he's been giving these fighters their biggest paydays that they've ever received. Turkey been coming with the bread. But you're telling me now that he's lowballing Shakur Stevenson because of William Zepeda's performances? Come on, y'all, that don't make no sense. But y'all wanted Tank to be disloyal and run away from Al and run over there to Saudi Arabia because Turkey, quote unquote, got the bag for him and Shakur Stevenson. But he's lowballing Shakur Stevenson right now. And it just seems like Shakur Stevenson is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Now, I got a lot of different ways and perceptions I could see this. Either Shakur Stevenson is stuck between a rock and a hard place, or exactly what Shakur Stevenson wants to happen is happening. He just either wants less competitive fights for more money, or he's put himself in a very bad position business-wise. In my opinion, it's one of those two things. And then there's some more subsequent tweets that come out to that one tweet to where he's like, oh, I'm willing to let the fight go to purse bid. You willing to let the fight go to purse bid? Then we're going to see what people are really willing to pay for you, Shakur. Just like what happened with Devin Haney. And what is Eddie Hearn's history with bidding on fights, y'all? We seen him not bid on the Devin Haney fight with Sando Martin. We seen him not bid on that fight for Jerron Boots Ennis. Is he going to bid on the William Zepeda fight for Shakur Stevenson? We seen what his history is with young black American fighters and him putting up the money for them to put on fights as far as the purse bids go. This is just some things for y'all to think about. Why is Turkey lowballing Shakur Stevenson? And guess what? Even though I have my opinion and my 2 cents about Shakur Stevenson and his stock and if it dropped and all of that, if he sat down with Turkey and negotiated a deal, Turkey need to pay him that. Right? This is what we talked about. This is what you said we was going to do. I don't give a damn about William Zepeda's performance. There's nothing that should have changed what me and you talked about what you going to pay me, especially since you're willing to lose money. Why y'all over there playing with Shakur like that lowballing him when y'all been willing to lose money this whole time? Pay that man his money. That's what y'all agreed to. You ain't lowball nobody else. You paying everybody else allegedly what you agreed to pay him. Why wouldn't you pay Shakur Stevenson what you agreed to pay him? Now all of a sudden you worried about a fight and if it's gonna sell and what somebody look like and it ain't gonna be entertaining and all this other crap. Now all of a sudden you worried about that? Now, right now, when it comes to Shakur Stevenson, no. And I'm just gonna say this, right? It's starting to seem a little shaky with Turki and these young black African American fighters. My 2 cents, me personally, I don't like the way Devin Haney is being handled over there. I didn't like the way how they didn't let Bill get on stage during the press conference. They got Devin on the undercard. You paying Ryan Garcia $20 million, but you lowballing Shakur? Come on, man, we gotta be real. I'm not finna be fake over here. I'm not finna be like, oh, I feel like Shakur Stevenson value ain't what he think he is. Yeah, Turki should lowball him. No, hell no. I don't think Shakur Stevenson value is what he think it is. However, at the same time, him and Turki agreed to something. He needs to pay him. He not doing that to nobody else. Everybody else over there getting their biggest paydays. That's why Shakur Stevenson went over there. Right? He made a business decision. If you gonna pay me more money and I can fight less competitive bullshit fights, pay me then. That's on you. You agreed to that. But let me know what you think about Shakur Stevenson saying that Turki lowballing him based off of William Zepeda's performance. By dropping your 2 cents below in the comments, you can give me a call at 281-845-2103. Leave me a voicemail and let me know your 2 cents. Follow me on IG at 2 cents boxing. Follow me on X at 2 cents 20. Make sure you click on this video that's about to pop up right here, Lost in the Sauce Part 2 or Lost in the Sauce Part 1, where I bring a lot of this Shakur Stevenson saga to the surface, and this is where we've ended up. Turki all of a sudden lowballing him when we've never heard Turki lowballing anybody else. But let me know what you think by dropping your 2 cents below in the comments. I'm Jay, and stay tuned for my 2 cents in the next video.